So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Pico from Good Night World and why, in my opinion, she was the greatest character in the show and why she is my favourite character in the show. And before we get started, there are two things that I want to address. Number one, this is all my opinion. Please do not be in the comments getting mad about, oh, how could Pico be your favourite character when she wasn't even that relevant and Taichiro did this and Kojiro did this and Asuma did this. Like, yes, I know, all my opinion, please don't get upset. Number two is the good old and most obvious spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the show, or maybe you're watching the show and haven't finished it yet, do not watch this video unless you are okay with it being spoiled for you. All that being said and all of it out the way, let's get straight into it. Who was Pico? Well, Pico, or Captain Pico, was Ichi's first and oldest friend in the game, who later went on to become the leader of the Pirates Guild in Planet, which was the largest and biggest guild in the game, before she stepped down from position as leader and offered it to her right-hand man Shigatella, who then proceeded to kick her out of the guild before his fight with Ichi. And then as she went to steal the guild flag to help Ichi win the fight, she was uninstalled from the game by Shiro, or Kojiro, who is also known as, who is the creator of the game and Taichiro's father. And then obviously it's revealed that she's actually an AI and not a real person, and that she's based off a real girl called Hinako Sakurai, and that she's never actually logged out before, and then she is uninstalled from the game. And that is pretty much all the screen time she got, and that is pretty much her story, apart from later on in the show where we see that her and the AI version of Ichi that was sent into the birdcage to rescue Asuma are reunited, which was a really happy ending and really emotional for me personally. But all that being said, why is she my favourite character, and why, in my opinion, is she the best character in the show despite such little screen time and not too much relevance? I think the first and the main reason for me believing and thinking that Pico was the greatest character in the show was that despite being an AI, she had a lot of outstanding and redeeming human qualities, particularly her love for Ichi. We find out later in the show that there is a 99% suicide rate for AIs once they discover that they are AIs and not real people. But Pico's dying words were that she loved Ichi. It was a confession and a declaration of her love for Ichi, despite her not even being a real person. So that was the first thing that did it for me, was her ability to feel such love for Ichi despite not even being a person. The second thing was how courageous and admirable she was. She was very strong, very powerful, a bit mouthy with a bit of an attitude, but I like that in a character anyway. Very similar to Ichi in that sense. But the fact that she was willing to basically sacrifice herself for Ichi, to abandon her whole guild for Ichi because she loved him so much and they had been friends for so long, it was such like an amazing quality for me personally, at least in my opinion. And I think when you compare her to other characters, she is a lot more emotional and a lot more of a person than even the real people. For example, Taichiro and Kojiro come to mind because they are very segregated from society. They shut themselves in. They aren't very nice people per se. They're very angry. They're very bitter. They're very negative people. The main characters of this show were just very shitty and bitter and angry people. But Pico was so emotional and so full of light and very entertaining and joyful. She is the type of person, or AI, that you would want to have as a friend and want to have by your side. And like I said, I think when you compare her to other characters, she's just so much more enjoyable to watch and to view on the screen. But all that being said, I think that is pretty much it. I think considering the show was so short and considering she didn't have much screen time, the amount of screen time that she did have, she really did make an amazing impact on me personally. And that is why I think she was the greatest character in the show, was because of how admirable and amazing and emotional she was, despite not even being a real person. All that being said, feel free to leave your comments and your opinions in the comment section down below. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. I'm the Geeked Out Gaijin, signing out.